This is Retro Rambling, an audio podcast discussion about all things retro, with your host, Cyrus Martin.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is Retro Rambling, and I am Cyrus.
And I'm the picky old gamer. How you doing, man?
It's been a minute. It has been a minute, as they say, right?
I think it's been like a hot 5 minutes since we've done anything like a certain intro like we used to do before, man. It's been a long time.
You know what? Everybody that's listening to this podcast, welcome to the show. This is a new podcast. Retro Rambling is, it's a discussion about everything retro. We were just talking about this a second ago off the recording. And basically it's like whatever. It's movies, TV, comic books, toys, games, obviously, everything retro. So today we're talking about something very specifically retro, which is a show that Picky Old Gamer and I had been doing. We did for several years, and it was called Game Rambling. So this show is a direct child of Game Rambling. Game Rambling had a baby, and this is what it looks like.
You just opened up a whole load of things I could say. Let me just say they had one of those redheaded stepchild babies. That's possibly a crackhead baby. I'm just gonna go there. Hey, yeah, you opened it up. You said it had a baby. I'm like, maybe like fat bastard.
I thought you were doing the Alex Jones thing where he's like,
you'd be like, I want your baby.
Well, guys, Picky Old Gamer. Do you mind if I call you by your name? Is that
the first name? Oh yeah,
okay.
First name.
Okay. Picky Old Gamer's name's Mike, and I never get to call him Mike because we've always gone by just use the Picky Old Gamer thing. You've had a channel on YouTube for a long time, and you've done a lot of content covering various different things, from news to just the retro stuff, all kinds of cool stuff. What's going on with your channel? Are you still doing the channel, or what's going on there?
I pretty much have. I'm kind of like you. I've taken a break. We talked about this earlier, and not to get into it too deep or you be negative about it, but the whole gaming landscape is pretty toxic. Yeah, I'll say it. There's no sense in worried about names. Griffin Gaming was a bigger YouTuber he does this to everybody. He's done this to Dreamcast guy. He's done it to a lot of people, and he picked apart a video. And I got swamped with hate because I said something about Xbox, and I was like, whatever. I went and kept on doing videos, and I've watched you guys with the Amico.
Oh no!
And
Don't go there. Don't go.
No,
there.
I know, but it's just this is not only this. I've watched the Amico problem, Xbox problem, the Sony fans, Nintendo hatred, the Switch Pro didn't come out, so Nintendo's ruined, and all the crap and stupid stuff that Sony's done. They've really botched their PS5 launch. It makes me not even want the damn thing for at least a year or two.
Yeah,
it's just made me want to back away from it. And if everybody says, "Oh, Griffin ran you off," I never watched this stupid video. It just was irritating to have my phone blow up. But it becomes to the point you can't talk about gaming now without somebody being mad.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing with being a YouTuber, especially, I think we would consider ourselves smaller YouTubers. We're not in any way like these big prolific guys or anything. And we've always been fine with that. I think you and I both have really appreciated the communities that we have had. But the problem is, obviously if somebody big comes in and causes a problem, then it's a big problem, and it can be really, it can be discouraging in a lot of ways trying to deal with the fallout from that. So I totally understand what you mean. But aside from all that, aside from all the business that went on, are you still planning to make videos like down the road, or Anything?
I think what I'm going to do is when stuff becomes more interesting, and it's probably going to be one of those times where the entire industry finally gets its proverbial head out of its ass. We know the pandemic and all that crap. Everybody seems to be frustrated.
Yeah.
You said this before. I mean, people are frustrated that Sony's not done great. They don't have a lot of exclusives. The PS5 is still harder than fuck to get. The Series X and Series S is easier to get, but yeah, it's got Game Pass. But still, everybody's frustrated. Like, where's this next generation? Well, it's slowly ramping up,
Yeah.
and people are frustrated with Nintendo, and it's like, oh no, where's that Switch Pro? They're doomed. Oh wait, I can use all the games. Sure, I'll buy that. That's the Nintendo haters. They'll say that and turn around and buy every game that comes out with it. I think when everything gets moving and it gets more palatable, I'll probably make more videos. When the new Switch, whenever it comes out, and it could be another year or more out, I don't know. I made a lot of videos of the hype, and you were talking about this. E3 Switch Pro stuff did not work or did not happen, but
Yeah.
I'll probably make videos about Switch stuff. It's a fun console. I'll come on this podcast for different stuff whenever you need me because it's fun. And I'll do stuff when I need to, and I'll see if it changes. Who knows? Me and you say stuff, and it may become fun again in a year, and we may want to do game ramblings. We always say that.
You never know.
Then,
you never know.
Yeah.
It's like Spock. Is he really dead or not? We don't know. I forgot.
And then resurrected, so he's not really the same. But nerded out there.
Well, I forgot to mention to you that I want us to try not to cuss. I forgot to say that.
Have I cussed already?
You did, but only once, and it's no problem. I'll fix that. For YouTube, this is fine. But
poop.
Yeah, when you do a podcast, it's a little different. So I'm gonna try to, it's just, it is what it is. Yeah. So
that's what's on my mind. I'm stroking my goatee. Do I make it easy on him or hard?
Oh no! What?
I'll shut that up. Yeah, I get you.
What have I done? So when we did Game Rambling, man, how long did we do that show? We did
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 50. Was it 53, 56 episodes, something like that?
Yeah, and the thing about it is it went about 3 years, and we were doing them. My gosh, we were doing them like every week and hammering those things out between an hour and a half to 2 hours and covering when the PS4, the PlayStation Neo and the Scorpio and all, and then the NX. We were really hot on that, and we did a lot of shows. We did a lot. Then we backed off. We came back for a while, and then we did every other week for a while, and then we finally just kind of backed off again. And yeah, I think on and off it's been like close to 3 years.
Wow. Yeah, it was quite a while, and man, you're right. We covered so many of the launches, and we did so many shows. It was like trying to, people don't realize how much work that is to like come up with all these different news stories and figure out how to structure them and then figure out how to segue from one thing to the next and keep it interesting, for a show. It's a lot of work, and it's fun though. It was a lot of fun, and we met so many cool people in our chats. And like I said, it was fun building that community and just talking about games. There was some bad stuff that went on, but it seems like that was a lot better time for me anyway. Like, yeah, I missed the good old days.
I think it was a point where people were really excited about shit.
Yeah,
I just said it again. Stuff, things.
Yeah.
Oh, I did again.
That's okay.
I mean, people were excited about consoles. They're excited about games, the new consoles coming out. We had a problem with, the mid-cycle refreshes, but the NX, that was a point where people got so excited and was so ready to see what Nintendo did that people were losing their freaking minds. They were going, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I mean, it was a make or break, and Nintendo actually knocked it out of the park. And then we did come off of the stupid retro VGS, Coleco Chameleon stuff. That caused a lot of people just problems, which makes other things people are comparing it to. But then I think the NX made it really exciting at those times.
Yeah. It was, and people don't remember this anymore. Like, people forget these kinds of things. But do you remember what it was like when we finally found out what the Switch was. When it went from this like we don't know what it is. Everybody had all these theories, and then all of a sudden we found out what it really was. Do you remember what that was like?
Pretty much it was a 50-50, a wailing and gnashing of teeth by certain people, and I could call one dude's name out, which he pretty much said he knew what it was and he was full of it. And we laughed about it, and I sat back. We were so in a theory. There was a theory of it's going to be a home console. It's going to kick the crap out of Sony and Microsoft, or it's going to be this hybrid thing. All those patents, I deep dive patents like a madman.
Yeah.
And then when they showed it, a lot of people sat there and were like, "Oh man, that makes no sense." And I was sitting there going, "Told you, told you."
Yeah, there was so many like it was very controversial, right? Because people were like, "Why would they do this? It doesn't make sense." Before the first commercial came out, everybody was like, this just doesn't make sense, and Nintendo's going the wrong direction here, and they're doing the wrong thing. They shouldn't be doing this, and da da da. Then the first commercial comes out, and it was like everybody goes, "Oh," you know, it was like this moment of like, "Oh, okay." And
Yeah, they culminated all the crap they've done before and made it work the way they've been trying to do. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And obviously the Switch has gone on to be extremely, like you were saying, successful. I don't have one right now. You know, I gave mine to my daughter, and I just have never gotten another one. And the reason is obviously I was waiting for the new one, and I don't know when that's going to happen, but, you know, nothing against the Switch. I wasn't really playing it, you know, cause I don't play modern games that much anymore. I don't actually, you're not going to believe this, dude, but I don't even own a modern game console right now.
Yeah, you got rid of your PS5, didn't you?
Yeah,
you
I don't.
and Retro Bro did.
I got rid of all my Xbox One X, I gave the Xbox One S to my brother. I gave the Switch to my daughter. I sold my PS4 Pro and the other PS4 that I had when I got my PS5, and then now I sold my PS5. So I'm like, yeah. You know what the thing is? I don't really miss it. You know, I don't.
I kind of wish I had a PS4 Pro just to kind of push it for a while so I could get a little bit more out of the games. I do want to play Cyberpunk. It's actually pretty playable on the non-PS4 base.
Yeah.
But right now I don't care. And I looked around and I was like, it don't bother. I'm not spending money on one like that. But I don't know when I'm getting a PS5. It's like I told the wife, we played the crap out of the Switch. We got 3 Switches. My daughter has a Switch. And then when my wife used to work night shifts in 911 center. Now she's working at doctor's offices, but I got her a Switch. I got her the Pokemon Switch Lite. I found it around so she's got that one, and she still takes it around so she can play, and it's great. We play a lot. I mean, there's 2 Xboxes in this house just because we got married, and the daughter brought hers in, and they're not played. And that, of course, some households will say, "Well, I play it every day." Well, that's I understand that. And I played the crap out of the PlayStation 4 for a little while, and I backed off from it because I'm not interested. You're right, I'm not interested. Games don't. There are not that many that excite me.
Yeah.
What are you playing,
dude? Retro. I'm all about, obviously, name of the show, you know, but I have all my retro consoles hooked up in my living room since I quit Video Game Virus, and now I play them regularly. You know, I'll turn on my PC Engine Duo, or I'll turn on the NES, or I'll turn on the Jaguar, the Atari Jaguar.
Are you sure it's a Jaguar?
Jaguar.
Oh, it's for the hipsters. Like, oh my god.
You know, Retro Bro, right? John, he's like, he's always like, oh man, I want to play the Jaguar. Maybe I should get one. I'm like, you won't. No, don't get one. You won't like it. I keep trying to tell him, if you didn't have one back in the day, don't get one because you're not going to like.
Yeah. I actually saw some of the Jaguar. I saw some of the car. There's a CM Games near us, and it has a ton of retro stuff in it. And I looked down. I was like, if if I was near you, I'd be like, hook that here, hand me the controller. I'd want to play some of the best ones for a while, just to see and say, yeah, I touched the system.
Well, it does have
Never
some.
held the controller, nothing.
Really? Okay.
No,
Well, you know,
they did not exist. It and the TurboGrafx
hmm.
did not freaking exist. I
It's
caught
okay.
myself.
It's okay.
I got
I got it marked. Hang on. What
did
time?
not. Well, I didn't. I bet it did not exist at all around here. Literally, I looked. No, nothing exists. This area was so Nintendo heavy that after a while, the Sega Master System, when it was still around, disappeared.
You know what? I may let this. I may see if I can get away with the cussing on this episode because we'll just see how it goes. If they tell me I have to edit, I'll edit. But we'll see how it goes.
Huh.
But yeah,
Well, I'm trying. Trust me, I'm trying.
I grew up in a small town, and I'm right there with you. Like that's why I was. You know what? I think you're on to something. You just kind of had like a little light bulb went off in my head here. One of the reasons I think I've always been so fascinated with the oddball consoles is because they were so hard to get, because they weren't available locally. Like to get them, it was a big deal, like trying to figure out how to get one. So I think that's why I was more fascinated with them, because it was like this odd, strange thing that you can't get and no one's ever played. And what is that? I'm curious about that, you know? So I don't know. Maybe that's you kind of you're like, this is like therapy right now. You're like my psychiatrist.
You're royally screwed because this psychiatrist is basically has the axe running down there going, "Here's Johnny."
Oh crap! I didn't
You're
sign up for
screwed.
this. Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you still playing that piece of crap, TurboGrafx? I'm
Hey,
just kidding.
hey,
I
hey.
do want to play that thing, and I almost got the blasted um re-release, a little mini console. I just couldn't justify
Oh,
it. And
don't.
we got an Nvidia Shield Pro
Oh
that
yeah,
is,
yeah.
is a full. I've got some TurboGrafx on it. I played a couple of them. The Ninja Spirit's pretty good.
Oh
Bonk was
yeah.
pretty good. I tried it. I gotta load more onto it. I really do.
Well, the real magic of the PC Engine and TurboGrafx is the CD games. I told Nick, Geeks with Cash. I told him this. You gotta play the CD games because the Turbo Chip games, they're okay. There's some good ones there. Most of them are okay. There's some good ones, but
Yeah,
the
it's
real
pushing it though.
yeah, but the
Yeah,
really good ones are all on CD.
yeah.
So, if you can figure that out, I know he's had problems trying to get that worked out, but with the Nvidia Shield, I think you should be able to.
Oh,
Um,
that thing is a slightly souped up Tegra that's in um the Switch, and I got the bigger one. It
mm,
runs 64-bit. You can run Dreamcast and some GameCube games on it. It's plenty
that's
powerful.
badass,
So,
dude. Yeah. Oh, and I was gonna say,
oh, you cussed. Oh, you
yeah,
cussed. Oh,
we'll
look.
see
Oh my
how.
goodness.
You're a hypocrite. But we'll like I was trying to tell you. Don't I know you got the shield, so don't you wouldn't even consider this at this point, but don't, and anybody listening to this, don't get the TurboGrafx Mini. Don't get it. It's not good. I thought it was good
Really?
initially. No, it's got terrible lag. It loses synchronization after playing for about 30 minutes. The audio and video go out of sync.
No, it's
Um,
one of those. It's basically a PlayStation video. So it's a crap.
yeah, it's not good. And I wish to God that it was good, but it's not. And the other thing is they've never released a public crack for it. So you're stuck with the games that are on it. So yeah, don't do that. That's not a good investment. Nvidia Shield is like the thing to get. Most people, you've said this, and Retro Bro has said this. That's pretty much the way to go for something like that.
Right, unless you're going to follow, go look at ETA Prime. If the only thing you could do better is put you a mini AMD PC in there, spend about $500 or $600 if people really want that, and those things will go up to PS2 and sometimes beyond. That's the killer. If you want a killer retro one, but if you don't, there's a 4K streaming box for $200 that does all the retro I need. And the $150 one, it looks like a little tube.
Oh yeah.
The only thing about it is it's a little less RAM and it's 32-bit, so it won't run Dolphin. But you're pushing it, so as long as if you want Dreamcast and below, $150 Shield will Bluetooth about any controller out there. And where we're sitting there playing, we played Super Nintendo. I've got Super Nintendo, Neo Geo, Sega Genesis, NES, Super. full arcade. Like I got the Turtles games, full arcade,
Mm.
all that stuff, and I could push it. I could run a lot of the arcade games at full speed.
It just occurred to me that there might be people listening to this that have no idea what we're talking about. Like
They're fine.
they're like, "What? I thought this was retro. What the hell are they talking about?" There's all this terminology, and we're you guys. If you don't know what we're talking about, sorry, but there's a history here. Go look up Game Rambling. Watch our shows on YouTube. You'll be caught up. Let me ask you this, dude. Let's set gaming aside for a bit, because we've only really ever been able to talk about gaming on our shows because it was Game Rambling, right? I noticed when we were doing our shows, you had like some things kind of in the background of your picture from your webcam and stuff, and there were some things that you had kind of hanging around in the back. I noticed like some Ghostbusters type stuff and different things. If you had to if you had to do a different show, let's say like we did, it wasn't Game Rambling, it was Movie Rambling or something, right? And you had to, and you wanted to do a topic on a retro themed movie that you really love, and it doesn't have to be Ghostbusters, it could be whatever, or like a series of movies or something. What do you think you would start with? What would be your first out of the gate movie that you would want to talk about?
I am a Ghostbusters nerd, but so it'd be hard not to talk about it. But it's only got two movies, couple animated series, the all ladies one, which didn't do really well. So I think I would come out and talk about Back to the Future.
Really?
Back to the Future is one of the best trilogies ever. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
the continuity, the time travel, it's pretty good. It's never perfect, but that's really good time travel mythical, theoretical, stuff. But they keep it in line, and it's to the point where it's classic, and it makes you, I don't know, it makes you think about the past and simple things like, what the big thing about Marty was that he could do better. He just was falling into the same crap that his family was, his dad, and then when he figured out how to break that, that's the whole freaking point, was to break the cycle. Even in Back to the Future 2, it's like, no, break the cycle. Enough. Yeah. Make it your own. You may fail and stuff in life, but enough being, old dad, what was it? Skinner. Hey, come up there. Skinner was like, and no McFly ever amount to anything at Hill Valley.
I forgot about Skinner.
Yeah, and that was the whole point. It's like,
what happened to that
nobody's
guy?
ever.
He was in
nobody. Yeah, he's been on.
He was in Top Gun. He was in Ghost. Yeah. Not Ghost. He's not in
Ghostbusters.
He-Man. He was in the He-Man movie, and he was in Back to the Future. What else was that dude in? What happened to that guy?
I can look him up here real quick, but the whole thing about Back to the Future is that it's about figuring yourself out and stop blaming everybody else and do your own thing.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting.
Then after
concept.
that, it'd be Ghostbusters, because I love it, and now the new one coming out with Ivan Reitman's son, I am can't wait for that.
Well, let's go back to the Back to the Future for just a second. Let's play a little game. Let's play Marry F Kill with the 3 Back to the Futures.
I can't do the F because you're sitting there. You said we can't cuss.
Well, we say F. Marry F Kill.
Okay.
Which one do you marry? Which one do you F? And which one do you kill?
I'm heterosexual, so don't ask guys, because it's probably going to be kill or punch or something.
Which one's the best one?
Well, what, the Back to the Futures?
Yeah. Which one?
Dude, that's the thing about it. That's why it's such a good. I think the third one is the weakest, but it's not weak by very far. Either first two. That's what makes it such a classic trilogy, is they didn't screw any of them up. They kept just delivering.
Didn't they do 2 and 3? Didn't they make them at the same time or something?
I don't think they did. I actually got IMDb up here. Back to the Future is 85. 2 was 89, and then 3 was 90. I think maybe 2 and 3 they may have. You may be right. Maybe they kind of butted. They waited 4 years and kind of
Yeah.
really quickly put them two together. Yeah, you're right.
I just remember being a kid desperately wanting a sequel to Back to the Future for a long time. It seemed like forever. And then,
And this is one of the things that my parents rented. So, this is the time when video cassettes, VHS was the thing,
yeah.
and you have little dinky, no, the gas station at the top of the road had VHS. Heck, that's how many horror movies I've seen from there and other stuff, and just picked it up and watched it. Here I am, I'm a kid laying in the floor with a pillow there, and my dad worked. He was working second shift, and he started coming in, and that's when the DeLorean lifted up, and it was right before that, and I still remember that, thinking, "Holy crap! What did I just? This is amazing!" And never knew what it was, and was hooked. And I never got. As my mom, she kind of liked it. She knew I really liked it, and it was only the third one I got to see in the theater. Now it was amazing.
Okay, so I'm assuming kill then is Back to the Future 3. That's the one we have to kill.
Yeah. I think what is it? Marry, F, kill.
Yeah.
Is F in a good way or bad?
It's up to you, dude. It's just a question. I don't know.
I guess I guess it is marry the first one, F the second one in a good way, because it seemed like it's got to me the second one goes bananas. It kind of goes up and just keeps doing it, because you're not only in the future, you're back in the past, and then he sees it himself again, and then you have Doc Brown talking to himself and crazy stuff like that. It really,
that second Back to the Future is really good. It's
they really top themselves.
Yeah, it's great. It really is. And you're right. They've spent so much time trying to make everything work in their little, the going back in different timelines and stuff. It's fascinating. Steven Spielberg, he really outdid himself,
Oh yeah. It was one of those things that he knew what he was doing, and it's like, holy crap, he really, really knocked it out of the park.
Originally they had a different actor that was going to play Marty.
Yeah, and he's still in there if you know where to look for him.
Yeah.
You know where he's at?
Where?
A lot of the okay, and I'm not spoiling it. If you're spoiled by Back to the Future, then you're too damn late. You're too damn late. I'm not going to say that. And the Libyans meet and shoot Doc Brown, and it's the AK. I think it's AK-47 jams, and Marty jumps in and he starts driving around.
Mm.
Those scenes of them of the dude driving, that's the old guy.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's him in there. You just can't tell.
That was Eric Stoltz, I think.
Yes,
Stoltz.
And then of course they pulled Michael J. Fox in there, and when he's cutting in, he's like, especially like he downshifts and everything. They cut different scenes. The outside driving is still the old guy. I think maybe all of them. If somebody else, I've seen these on YouTube, like things you didn't know about Back to the Future, and so yeah, he's still in there. You just don't know he's in there.
I had heard that they actually never really wanted Eric Stoltz, that they always wanted Michael J. Fox, but they couldn't get him at first because he had this contract with the Family Ties.
Yeah, I think that's close to it, yeah.
Yeah. But can you imagine those movies? Would there have been 3 movies without Michael J. Fox?
Probably not.
Yeah.
He was the freaking glue. Well, he's not even the glue. He's part of the glue that meshed with, Christopher Lloyd. It worked.
Yeah.
I don't think it could work any other way.
I totally agree with you. The chemistry, I mean, Michael J. Fox is an all-time great movie star, TV star, movie star, whatever. And everything he did that I ever saw, I liked. I never saw anything he did that I didn't like. What was that movie that he did in the 80s where like he was pretending to be this business guy and I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was this comedy, and they did that song during. You remember the song that would be in like all these 80s movies where it goes boo bow bow chicka chicka. You remember that song?
Gosh, hold on, I'm looking up his stuff. Doc Hollywood? No.
Oh, that was good too. No, this was something like he was sitting on like a there's like a bottle of champagne opening or something on the cover, and he's like, it's like my life, something my life, or I cannot remember.
People are listening to screaming. You know what it is.
If you're listening,
I'll look it up here.
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of it was. It's been too long. I saw it in the theater when it came out, and it was like 1986 or something like that. I know because I was living in a different town at the time, and that was just it was a hilarious. He did so many funny movies. That was one of them. He did. You'll probably tell me the name of it after I start talking about something else. But that was just it was one of those.
Secret to My Success.
There you go.
I finally found it. And
that was great.
That was Secret 87.
Oh, 87. Okay. That was a great movie.
Gotcha. I say, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar, and I blanked out on it. Yeah.
Do you remember that movie he did, Greed? It had like
Greedy?
Greedy? Was that the name of it? Greedy? It had a whole bunch of famous. Phil Hartman was in that?
I never did see it. Some of his later stuff, I just kind of fell off watching his stuff.
Dude.
I know that's sad. I got to go back and see it.
Okay, dude, listen to me. Go watch that movie. It's great. It's got Kirk Douglas is in that. It's one of his last movies before he had his stroke. And Kirk Douglas is awesome in that. And it's one of the last movies Phil Hartman made before, unfortunately he, that whole tragedy happened. And Phil Hartman is hilarious in that movie. It's you got to see that movie. You'll be mad that you haven't seen it when you watch it. You're going to be like, really?
I think one of the only of his later movies in the 90s, I guess I watched. Did you ever watch The Frighteners?
You know what? I've never seen that one. That's one that I've never seen.
You're going to be mad.
I know.
It's got so many people in it, and it's lighthearted, and it's not too gory. It's not really, they didn't try to be gory or horror related, but it's just like a sci-fi horror. Yeah, okay. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's one of my favorite other movies he ever did.
So we have homework then. When we're going to do another show together at some point, but you're going to watch Greedy or Greed. Is it Greedy?
It's Greedy. I'm looking at it. I got IMDb up right now.
Yeah, you're going to watch that. I'm going to watch The Frighteners, and then we'll talk about them on our next show. And actually, you were talking about the Ghostbusters a little bit. There's a new Ghostbusters coming out. What's going on with that one? What's the story with
this?
That?
Is basically okay. The first Ghostbusters one, and then they save the city. Basically, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And they start the second one. The second one it's not as good as the first one, and they basically were sued into. They were sued basically out of half tone. I said basically out 4 times. Wow.
Basically.
This is quality podcast junk, right?
Actually, no.
Yeah. So then they came back and they did all that, and Vigo was pretty good. I always hated that Vigo never got a real big fight scene. He just came out. He looked awesome. He looked amazing. But it was a lot of feel good stuff to that one. I remember when it was coming out in theaters as a kid, everything was Ghostbusters too. They exploded everywhere.
Yeah.
But then they tried to do the 2016 film, and without trying to sound really bad and piss somebody off, let me just say, ew. Ooh. And I did watch it. I watched it from beginning to end. Ew.
Ooh.
It was a wrong message. It was not sexually charged in a bad way. It was sexism. The women. It's all about women power.
Politicized or whatever. Yeah.
Politicized, and I don't care about women being in something. Women were in the cartoons. The Extreme Ghostbusters had a girl/woman full time as a Ghostbusters. I didn't care. It just was. Let's just say I don't think even to the point. James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd. He's Cinemaster. He's so big in the films. It's ridiculous. He loves the film industry.
Yeah.
Go look at Cinemasters and look it up what he thought about it. He actually made a quick video. I refuse. I'm not doing a review. That's the title of the video. He knew it wasn't a something he wanted to get into.
That's pretty sad. You know, I've got other friends that are like, I mean, you know, Eugene, he's like
Yeah, I know.
majorly into Ghostbusters.
I know.
And I know that this is I'm not in that community. There's a Ghostbusters community. You know?
I know. I've been on their websites. It used to be on the fan sites. Yeah, it's a huge community.
All right. Well, I'm not in that, but he's told me that this is a contentious thing, like the whole. So I don't want to get into it. I don't want to have, you know, we're not going to have like a whole like thing about that. I think what your point was just, it shouldn't have been turned into this like thing. It should have just been a movie. It should have just been, you know,
because you know what they were going to do. They were going to start something called Ghost Corps. They were going to have another movie with Channing Tatum supposedly and a few other people. It was all men, and then they're going to have multiple organizations of Ghostbusters. They're going to start this big Ghostbusters mega, like an MCU. Well, of course, they didn't do so well on that movie, and it flopped. So yeah, there was a big plan for it. Now this new one, Ivan Reitman is the original guy who did Ghostbusters, right?
Right.
His son, I never remember his name. So hold on a second, I'm looking it up. Jason Reitman. His son is directing it, and Ivan Reitman is sitting there over his shoulder. You can find these videos. He's sitting there, and his dad going, "That was good." You're having the original man that directed them, over his son's shoulder directing this. It is awesome. Basically this girl who they moved out into nowhere. Have you seen the trailer, right?
I've only seen like a little teaser that didn't really show anything. It was like,
you got to see the full trailer. Basically, they go out in the middle of nowhere and they start looking around at stuff, and she finds stuff underneath there and starts seeing all this stuff, a proton pack, all this other thing. She moves one of some flight suits, and it says Spangler. I think it's Egon's granddaughter.
Oh,
and then they go into the barn. There's the Ecto-1.
Wow.
And what's cool is right after this, you need to go to your TV, find the full trailer. It's like 2 minutes and 30. I'm looking at 2 minutes 35. The full trailer. Did you ever watch the cartoon?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember they had the gunner seats and shit like that?
I remember the toy had something like that.
Okay, you never saw that in the movies, right?
No, that wasn't in the movie.
Okay, this thing has a gunner seat, and it's old, so it's kind of like they're trying to tease their merging, because Ghostbusters. Now, here's what people may not know about Ghostbusters. The real Ghostbusters cartoon was after the first movie, and somewhere in between the second movie and it never did. That's where the timeline is.
Interesting.
But in that one, because if you watch the real Ghostbusters, they actually I think it's called Citizen Ghost. It's an episode where they come in and they've just done the job of Ghostbusters 1. They're covered in Stay Puft Marshmallow, and the whole episode meant they dumped their uniforms down there. They got new uniforms. That's why they're colored. And unfortunately, the residual energy brings the suits to life, and they had to fight them. It's kind of like doppelgangers. But yeah, this is a possible what if afterward, and then they pushed. And I always think Real Ghostbusters is a in-betweener or a what if afterwards, because then if you go to Ghostbusters 2, it has to be a what if because they were sued out their butt. And they weren't in the cartoon.
So where does the original Ghostbusters cartoon fit into the timeline with the big monkey and the...
I think it's an alternate. I think the real Ghostbusters is what happens after the movie if they weren't sued into oblivion.
You know what I'm talking about? That
giant monkey with the stupid
the other Ghostbusters, the one that wasn't really the Ghostbusters, that was that other Ghostbusters cartoon. You know where they go, "Let's go Ghostbusters."
Did you know that was the original Ghostbusters? They came first.
That's what I was trying to say. Like,
yes,
where does that?
That's
fit
right.
Into...
Basically, it's an acid trip. Nobody cares. Basically, yeah, it was a weird show. It actually was based off of an old live action movie. Yeah, the guy was in a monkey suit.
I've heard that before. I've heard that. What is that movie? Yes. Is it called
Ghostbusters?
It's called Ghostbusters? Oh my god.
Yes.
I got to see that movie.
That's why the cartoon got the name Real at the first of it.
Dude, totally horrible prank to do on somebody. Be like, hey, let's watch Ghostbusters.
You know what pissed me off is more than a kid is when I looked in the menu. This was TV Guide back in the day, or you would have them coming up in an hour. Watch Ghostbusters, the cartoon.
Yeah.
I started up. It's like do that stupid one, and I'll sit there and literally just turn the TV off and walk and go outside.
You know,
Pissed me off.
I have a funny story kind of like that. Like, you remember when the Goonies came out, and the Goonies was like this big thing, and we were like, oh, the Goonies, and we didn't get to see it in the theater. My mom was like, well, when it comes out on video, we'll get it on video. And so it came out on video, and she's like, I'm gonna go get the Goonies, and she brought us back the Ghoulies, because my mom would get things mixed up. A little bit different experience there. A little bit different.
Yeah.
But we watched it.
I'm trying to. Yeah, the Ghoulies was a horror movie. If I remember.
Oh yeah, it was like these little monsters that would come out of the toilet, and they lived in the sewer. They would come out of the toilet and like bite people, in the butt and stuff. It was stupid, but it was old.
I don't know if you ever knew that there was a return. Yeah, there it is. Return of the Ghostbusters in 2007, and it was made on the side by some people that they got like $50,000 or $70,000 of donations. It's free. It's pretty decent in certain areas, and the special effects aren't bad. So there was a quote sequel, but they were actually trying to be like a different.
Is this like the other Ghostbusters, or like the?
No, this is a fan made sequel in 2007. Return of the Ghostbusters.
But what I'm asking is it a sequel to the weird one, or the one that we know with the
Bill Murray and them? I'm looking it up. Because I think Ghostbusters in that other one has two words, like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I got you. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, there's all these
cartoons came out the same year, 86.
Yeah, and then they did like. Okay, so there was that weird Ghostbusters one, and then there was the real Ghostbusters, and then later they changed the name to Slimer and the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they basically. I've got I spend like $200 on the box, the super box set. It's a firehouse, and basically it's just like everything else. The freaking kids love Slimer because they turned Slimer from this disgusting blob in the movies to. And me, he talked and he was a goofball, and they loved him. So it was Slimer.
That was pretty good Slimer impersonation, by the way. I like that.
Yeah, and also they had, if you don't remember, they had Slimer shorts in that too.
Slimer shorts,
like little short things of him versus.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember. Now that you said that, I was thinking I was like wearing shorts. Wait, no, but I remember what you're talking about now. The little short. Man, that was a long time ago.
Him going up against this weirdo doctor or something like that.
See, I'm not nearly as into Ghostbusters as you or Eugene or some other people. So I don't remember everything. I love talking to you about it because I'm always like, oh yeah, I remember that now. Because you brought out the thing with the seat, and I was like, oh yeah, the toy had that. Oh yeah, and then it's fun to remember that kind of stuff. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, Ghostbusters. There's a new one. What's the name of the new one? Do you know the title?
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
So it's clearly going to be having to do with Egon, right?
I mean, yeah. You see the flash of that. Gosh, what's his name? Who played Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, he's in it. Oh, so it looks like you got some good acting chops. One of the kids, the boys, is the brother of the girl, is from Stranger Things. So you got good actors and actresses, and it looks really good.
Well, that's good.
It looks really good, and it looks like a true sequel.
All right. Well, that's what we've been praying and hoping for forever. So.
Oh yeah, we've been always wanting that, and nobody can give that to us. Yeah. Or they say, well, we could give you that, but we're not going to really give you what you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't always get what you want.
I'm trying to find that old movie. IMDb must really not list that one.
Yeah, they're like,
because
you're like, hey, where's it? Like IMDb's like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're like, no, I'm trying to look at. Nah, it's cool.
I
Don't.
mean that Ghostbusters Filmation's Ghostbusters had 65 episodes.
Wow, really? 65 episodes.
It went for. Well, let me back on it here. Let me go back. How
They did more
many?
episodes of that than we did of Game Rambling.
Because they're actually cool, I guess. Well, they had one season, but seasons back then
Yeah.
they could span for a while, and it's a cartoon. They would just, yeah. Let me see, 86. Wow, was that all in 86?
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, they did all through the whole year, like 65 episodes.
Man, in '86, Filmation was the bomb. I was going to say something else. I'm trying not to cuss, but they had He-Man, they had She-Ra had come out in '86,
Yep.
I think. They had a bunch of cool stuff out there. Oh, was it Brave Star? Is that the name of that one?
Yeah. Real Ghostbusters went from 86 to 1991,
Wow.
and they had 140 episodes.
God,
So they actually
dang.
spaced them out.
That is a lot of episodes for a cartoon series.
It was a masterpiece, and
Yeah.
even in the later stuff was kind of stupid and kind of goofy as it got. I mean, Ray was Frank Welker, who is Megatron.
Oh yeah, Frank Walker. Okay.
Winston Zedmore was Arsenio Hall.
Really?
Yes, Arsenio Hall did Winston in the cartoon,
What?
and the guy who did the cartoon Garfield did the cartoon Peter, and then the live action Peter, Bill Murray, did the CGI Garfield. It's a big joke.
I
They
remember
flip-flopped.
hearing that. That's hilarious. That is
Yeah.
hilarious. Wow.
Yeah.
Bill Murray. Wow. Hopefully that movie when's it supposed to come out? Do you have any idea?
It was pushed off to later this year. Let me see, Ghostbusters Afterlife 2021, November. It was going to come out mid-year, but I think with all the crap that they can't, they're trying to get. I bet you they're going to polish the living snot out of it. They better.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind them delaying it as long as it's good, you know? Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, hold on to it as long as you need to, you know.
And there's there's a 52-second trailer which you saw. There's a 2-minute 35-second trailer. They haven't done anything else, and I hope sometime this year that they drop another one and blow people's minds. Because the writers are, I don't know who Jill Kennan is, Jason Reitman, and Dan Aykroyd. So
oh yeah.
it's got to be good.
I hope so. I really do.
I mean, I just see it here. I'm maybe spoiling some of it. I kind of heard this before. There's Sigourney Weaver. There's Bill Murray in it. Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, still Annie Potts.
Wow.
I don't know who all these other people are, but you know,
They didn't get Rick Moranis to come back, did they?
I don't think he's. Remember, he really retired and he didn't want to do anything.
But he came back though. He came back. Like I thought he was doing stuff now. You remember?
Maybe he didn't want to do this. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I love Rick Moranis. Everybody loves Rick Moranis. He does what he wants to do. You know, he's not.
He went to do family stuff. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. What a good guy. You know, not even concerned about it. That guy was like huge. I mean, he did Spaceballs and Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He did so many things like that were like all of them were blockbusters. It was like boom, boom, boom. What was that movie he did with Steve Martin? My Blue Heaven. Did you ever see that?
No, but I also did Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, I love Rick Moranis.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stuff. I don't see Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think he didn't do that. Of course, it always could be funny if they're keeping it a big secret and he pops up in there.
Yeah, I bet that's what it is. Dude, I bet
Sigourney Weaver showed up at the very end after the credits of 2016 ones trying to be something, and of course they never did anything.
Dude, he's gonna dude, they have to. He has to have like a cameo. They have to put him in there. Even just like you said, an end credits thing or something. Just one little scene. There has to be something, man. Come on.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, anyway. All right. So let's kind of wrap up things here. We've talked about a bunch of stuff, you know, we kind of touched on some stuff with our old show. We talked about some game stuff, some movie stuff. Let me just ask you this. What do you think, if you were just to like summarize our experience together doing Game Rambling as a show and all that entails, like if you were to tell somebody about it in just a few sentences, how would you describe it? Like what do you take away from everything with that show? Like, was it a good experience, a bad experience? Like, what are your thoughts about all that?
The funny off cuff thing is you want to watch two ugly hobos trying to fight over gaming crap. That's what you want to watch. But seriously, it really was very fun. I tried to do a podcast twice. I tried to do a podcast with a guy, and he's cool, but it never went anywhere. I actually teamed up and did a podcast, a retro VGS podcast of all things. And when the retro VGS took a dump, he abandoned it. And he just dropped. And he dropped off everything because he knew it was a failure. But doing Game Ramblings is the best thing I've done in collaboration, because it's just two guys, two gamers who like to sit down and go through what they think's happening and just chit chat. It's rambling on about this. It's rambling on about that. It's talking about all of them and giving all the companies hell and calling out their crap.
Yeah.
And I think it was fun. I think if somebody wants to watch two people, guys or girls, not trying to say all two guys, you want to watch two gamers just chit chat and ramble on about games and give you honest opinions, that's what you need to do. Well, it's a decent show. Of course, we had so much technical issues. It was funny,
oh my god,
whatever.
Oh my god, yes. Well, hey, Mike, here's the thing. I wanted you to be the first guest on this show because
I do appreciate that. I really do.
Dude, let me say some things real quick. First off,
but don't get that all.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Here we go. So
brought a beer.
So Mike, I want to thank you so much for everything you've done for me over the years. You are the reason that I didn't quit YouTube in like 2016. Okay. You know what all was going on back then. And if it wasn't for you, and if it wasn't for what we were doing together with Game Rambling, I would have been done and walked away a long time ago. You and anybody that has been a subscriber of anything I've done, you can blame Mike because he has caused you to be afflicted with Cyrus for a long time.
It's like crabs. They don't go away easily.
But I want you to know how much I appreciate you and how much I have always enjoyed hanging out, talking with you, whether we were doing a show, whether we were just hanging out off, not even broadcasting, just talking. I want you to know how much of an impact you've had on me as a human, as a person, and how much I appreciate you as a friend.
I do appreciate that. I mean, the thing about it is it's the same thing with you, is that you've kept me from quitting, and now your lazy butt quits. And my motivation is going away. Now, the thing about it is I feel the same way. We motivate each other.
We do.
And I think we've gotten to the point that we've done what we could do. You've done YouTube and you've done broadcasting stuff before, and I think we've figured out that there's a culture going on in YouTube, and it's all YouTube. It is not just a gaming. There's not many subgenres on the blasted YouTube channels that are not toxic.
Right.
And I appreciate you. You did more work than me. When it comes to the technical work, you did all of it. He did all of it, people.
Well,
I didn't do anything of it. I just sat there and ran my fat mouth.
But without that mouth to run, I don't know what I'm going with.
Oh, he lost it.
Anyway, thank you immensely. Like, I can't even tell you for everything you've done. And I hope that you will continue to make either videos or something. I hope to see more from you. I hope you understand that you have a talent and an ability that is not common. And I hope that you'll do more with it. And I hope you'll come back on this show in the not too distant future, and we can talk about these movies that we're supposed to go watch.
Oh, I'm doing this. I actually like audio podcasts. I'm definitely going to do when it comes and do more of this. But
Hell yeah.
I sometimes don't feel like I do have the talent because I don't feel like neither one of us go anywhere when it comes to like getting enough views or getting our stuff out there. But obviously, I'm good at pissing people off.
Well, you know what? If that's,
Mm.
do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
What do you want to say about it? Come on, what do you want to do about it? Come on. I might delve into more podcasts myself. I might just go out
Hey,
there
do it.
and
Do it.
be out driving and just get a microphone and plug it into my freaking phone and say, screw it, we're going to talk about this. I could do that. Because, I mean, most YouTubers now, all they do is show you a video or show you stuff and they talk.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what, dude? Just do it, man. Just, you get an idea, just go with it. See what happens, right? Just see what happens. Because I look forward to it. I can't wait to see more stuff from you. And, I just hope that, hope that happens, in the not too distant future. Because I always enjoy
I hope you do. I mean, I know video game virus, I guess, is it permanently shut down?
I think it ran its course. I don't think I need to go back to that.
But you are, see, now you're making more content with this. When you said I'm quitting, I know we tried not to cuss. I said, fuck. I really, that actually was hurtful. Not that you were directing it at me.
Yeah.
It's just, I felt that going, oh, he's quitting completely. Now that I know you're not, that's a lot better.
No, I am not quitting doing stuff. It's just, it was time. That channel had been on for a long time and it wasn't there was really no reason to keep doing it. So I was like, this is a good time to walk away from that and try something different. And it took me a while to kind of figure out what I wanted to do that was different. But I think this is going to be a good new outlet and hopefully people enjoy it. Hopefully it's something that doesn't annoy people too much,
You piss people off just like I do.
No matter what I do, you're right. No matter what I do, it's gonna happen.
It doesn't matter. You're just be like, well, I don't really understand some of this one movie. How dare you?
Oh my! Response. There'll be response.
These
hey, is there
jackwings over here?
Is there such
these people over here?
Is there such a thing as response podcasts? Do they do that? Is it? Because I have no idea.
I don't know, man. Podcasts are ridiculous. They're their own thing.
Yeah.
They really are their own thing out there. And, maybe they are.
Well, we'll find out, I guess. There'll be a new podcast pops up next week. So, Cyrus Martin made a podcast called Retro Rambling. Who does he think he is? The gatekeeper of retro? There'll be a whole thing.
Where do you now? Well, let's talk about this. Where is your stuff going to be on? I mean, this is a podcast.
So it's going to continue to be on my YouTube channel. First off, it's also on all the services that are out there, like iTunes, Amazon, Google, iHeartRadio, whatever. I don't even know how many. There's like 15 different services. It may not be up yet, but it's coming. So, yeah, if you have an iPhone or an Android phone, or if there's a service that you like to get podcasts on, it's probably going to be on that. But if you can't find it there, you can always find it on the YouTube channel. So it'll be available.
That's really good.
I hope so. Well, Picky Old Gamer. Let's go ahead and wrap up here. Again, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being on. Let's remember to watch our movies, and down the road, not too long from now, we will do another show and we'll let each other know what we think about. I'm going to watch Frighteners, and you're going to watch
Greedy.
And we'll talk about our experiences with Michael J. Fox.
I'll try not to do my really bad jokes about him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. He's He's an icon.
Oh, he laughs about it. I know everybody knows this. He laughs his own condition.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what's funny about it.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. I mean, I do the jokes, and everybody's like, "You hate him." I'm like, the guy makes fun of his own condition. He's one of the best actors ever in my childhood. Piss off.
Absolutely.
I like the guy. I mean,
he's not just an actor. He's like an icon. He's
I mean, you need to look up, and I might need to send you one, and look at like things you didn't know about Back to the Future, and look at the schedule when he shot. He did not stop shooting Family Ties.
Okay, next episode we do is is all Michael J. Fox. That's the next
Oh, crap.
episode we do. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to this first podcast for Retro Rambling. I've had a great time. I think Mike
I have too.
Oh, good. I was going to say, I think he's tolerated me,
I have tolerated your peasant self.
Oh, yes. If you've hung in this long, thank you, and I'm sorry. And there will be
We're
more.
always sorry. We always apologize here on Game Rams. We're sorry.
Right.
Please don't hate us.
There will be more shows. Some of them will be interviews like this. Some of them will be just me talking about different retro themed things. But I really hope you'll join us for the next episode coming very soon. Just remember to check back, like I said, on the services or on YouTube. And until next time, I'm Cyrus.
I'm Picky Old Gamer.
And we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for checking out Retro Rambling, an audio podcast discussion about all things retro. If you enjoyed it, then check back soon for more. See you next time.